Hello everyone, welcome back to the POPSICLE KNIGHT channel. My name is Joseph and today I'm going to be showcasing Galarian Darmanitan VMAX from Vivid Voltage. But first I want to thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Please click the like button for this video if you like it, hit the thumbs down if you don't. That actually helps me out in getting this video to more viewers like you. Also, please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and feel free to share this content. So let's get started. First off, we have Galarian Darmanitan V. With 220 HP, it has 2 attacks. The first one is Freezing Headbutt. For 1 water and 1 colorless, it will do 50 damage. Then you flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. This one is great for stalling while hitting for chip damage. But just to warn you, you will get tails most of the time, so it won't always work. Its second attack is Frozen Slice. For 2 water energy and 1 colorless, this will do 190 base damage. However, it will inflict 30 damage to itself. Then its evolution Galarian Darmanitan VMAX is going to be the star of the show today. It has 320 HP with just 1 attack, Max Whiteout. For 4 water energy, it will do 200 base damage. Then it will also do 30 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. This pairs very nicely with the Telescopic Sight tool card, which adds 30 more damage to GX or V Pokemon in your opponent's bench. So we're looking at 60 damage to all of your opponent's bench V or GX Pokemon. Damage will add up quickly and could potentially win you multiple prize cards with just a few hits. To help energize Darmanitan, we'll be using Frosmoth with its Ice Dance ability, which lets you attach as many water energy from your hand to one of your water Pokemon in your bench as often as you like. Make sure you attach the air balloon on this Frosmoth. By doing this, even if Darmanitan VMAX is in the active, you can use a switch to put Frosmoth into the active, energize Darmanitan while it's on the bench, and then you can easily retreat Frosmoth, switching back to Darmanitan. I will also be taking Blastoise and Piplup-GX tag team in this build. This is because it has awesome attacks. The first one is Splash Maker. For 2 water and 1 colorless, it will do 150 base damage, but then you can attach up to 3 water energy from your hand to any of your Pokemon in any way you like. But not only that, each energy you attach will heal 50 damage to that Pokemon. So this is really good for energizing Darmanitan VMAX and for healing as well. Its GX attack is also really good for stalling. For 2 water and 1 colorless, Bubble Launcher GX will do 100 base damage and it will paralyze your opponent. And if you just add 3 more water energy to this attack, it will do 250 damage instead. As for the rest of the deck, we got Gormandai Snorlax. While its ability will end your turn, it can get you up to 7 cards in your hand. Also, getting those water energies onto your hand can be a challenge, which is why I will have 1 Crobat V and 2 Dedenne-GX to help with consistency, getting us more cards into our hand as quickly as possible. I also have 1 Bench Barrier Mew to protect our own bench from damage, and we also have 1 Whirlpool Suction Phione to force your opponent's Pokemon out of the active when needed. We'll be using Capacious Bucket to find our water energies. I'm also using Giovanni's Exile to clean up our bench, remove liabilities such as the Dedenne or Crobat as long as they don't have any damage counters on them. I also have Malo and Lana for healing. Sonia is also really good in this deck for getting basic Pokemon but also energies. I've also included Wash Energy to protect our Pokemon from effects of attacks, and also Weakness Guard Energy, especially Tier 1 metal decks are really running rampant in the meta right now. If you're interested, the deck list is in the description below. This is a pretty straightforward deck, nothing fancy, basically just keep attacking and try not to get knocked out. And that's pretty much it for the deck, but enough talk, let's have some fun and see some gameplay. Terry Bear is calling the coin flip. Okay, let's go first. So we have 2 Snoms. We'll put 1 in the active and 1 on the bench. Having 2 is pretty good because if our opponent... Okay, we are up against Coalossal VMAX deck. Okay, so this could be a little bit tougher than usual because with the defense, if they are using the stone energy, their defense is definitely gonna get higher, so our bench damage may not even affect the Coalossal VMAX if it has that type of defense. So they set up their Oranguru already, and I think I'm just gonna Boss's Order this. Our hand is pretty much dead right now.
At least we can stall for a little bit because this one doesn't have any energy yet. But they can easily just evolve it though, and then put a fighting energy, and then you can just knock out our Snom. But they are building up the one on the bench, so you know what, that's fine. But we need to find a basic right away to put in our bench so that we can start energizing it. Our opponent definitely has a better hand than us right now. And okay, they're gonna Marnie. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Our hand is our hand is really dead. There's really nothing we could do. Alright, we get Sonia. That's good. So we can get let's see, what can we get with our turns? You get a Darmanitan, maybe a Dedenne, because we need more options on our hand. We need a Frosmoth. We need energies. We need a lot of things. And that's what makes Darmanitan deck, I think, a little awkward. So we do get a Frosmoth though. We're gonna put that air balloon on it. And we just do energies. I think I can even get Snorlax actually. And Crobat. I think I'll just go for Snorlax. Let's see, can put this energy here so we can retreat. We don't need weakness guard anyways, and we're just gonna play Crobat. Let's see, if I retreat, I can retreat into Snorlax, use this to get another Frosmoth, evolve it. We can't do anything else, so I'm just gonna Gormandize here, get 2 cards. Oh my god. We get all energies, but we have no Pokemon to attach it to, and this is a really bad hand because we can't use Professor's Research. If we do that, all this energy is gonna go into the discard pile. Such a waste. Sometimes I don't understand how RNG shuffles the deck. But you know what? That's a lot of the times games. The PTCGO is based on chance. But sometimes it's not how good your deck is. It's just sometimes it's how good you pull from the top deck or something like that. Or like the hammers, the stupid hammers. Sometimes, you know. You're winning the game and then they have a bunch of hammers, they get heads, and then they discard all your energies. Now you can't attack. Alright, so our opponent with a fully charged Coalossal VMAX wrecks our Snorlax, but you know what? Our top deck gives us our Blastoise and Piplup. And with all the energy that we have, I think I'm just gonna put all 6 of them. Let's see, we got 6. We can use research. We got our Darmanitan, which is good. I think I'll just Ice Dance the one we can attach, and I think I'll go with that for now. I'm just gonna retreat, and I'm just gonna use GX, which will paralyze Coalossal VMAX as well. So it can't attack, they'll have to retreat, but they'll have to have either an air balloon for Oranguru and a switch. So I mean, with the Rotom Phone, actually it goes really well with that deck. It's really nice. But yeah, Blastoise and Piplup I think is really good along with Darmanitan VMAX because of that little that paralysis extra, which can help you stall. Especially Darmanitan needs a lot of energy. If you don't have those energy, there's no way you're gonna win, because there's a lot of deck builds rely on speed, the setup, and how powerful their Pokemon is, how early they can start hitting for huge amount of damage. So our opponent gets a Galarian Surfetched here, and with the switch, the ability allows it to get all the energy, as much energy as you want onto it. So it will only hit for 200 plus damage. It's not gonna be enough to knock out our Blastoise. Let's see. Let's just evolve into a VMAX. Can manually put 1 energy there, and I can Dedenne. Hopefully we get 2 energies here. Sweet. So now we can use our Ice Dance, get these 2 energies on our Darmanitan. I wish that we had a telescopic sight right here. I think I'm just gonna switch, and I'm just gonna hold on. We can still Marnie, but I'm not, because they have 2 cards. So I think I'm just gonna attack. Max Whiteout, hitting for 30 damage onto their whole bench. So now, even if they retreat with this Galarian Surfetch, the spread damage will just knock it out in the process. So now, well, we need a boss order or something to knock out that Coalossal VMAX before it charges fully again. Okay, there's the hammer. The hammer! So one of the weakness, actually, I've played a few games with Galarian Darmanitan, and a lot of the games, especially with the Mewtwo Lightning deck with Pikachu and Zekrom, and then they have a full set of hammers in that, and then they get a lot of heads. Yeah, I always lose with that one, because my opponent seems to have RNG on their side and they always get heads. It's really annoying. It's the game becomes basically a game of chance, no longer about strategy. So, but having those hammers could be construed as strategy. So, you know what? We could put 4 hammers on this build as well. So you just gotta live with it, I guess, and take the loss if you do lose to it. So I'm just gonna use Quick Ball, put an energy onto this Darmanitan just in case we can retreat and get a new attacker. I think it's safe to Marnie here. We do get a telescopic sight, which is nice. That will increase damage onto our opponent's bench. We'll get 2 water energy with the Capacious Bucket. That's the last 2. And I'm just gonna Ice Dance it to this Darmanitan. I mean, probably better not to evolve this Darmanitan. Let me just Ice Dance this because I can't manually attach anymore, so we had to use the switch. And I'm just gonna Max Whiteout for the KO. We'll get 5 prize cards for that, knocking out the Surfetch and also the Coalossal VMAX. But yeah, earlier I manually attached 1 energy already, and I couldn't attach 1 to our active. Good thing we had a switch, and we already have the air balloon on our Frosmoth. Again, having air balloon on Frosmoth is very it's necessary sometimes, because that's exactly what happens. If you have Galarian Darmanitan or your main attacker in the active and it needs energy, you can't use Frosmoth to energize your active. You need to have it in the bench. So if you just use a switch Frosmoth into the active with that air balloon, you can easily retreat. And while Frosmoth is in the active, energize your attacker, and then you can just retreat back into your attacker and start attacking with it. So you can use that for basically the strategy for any water decks. You can use that for Inteleon VMAX deck, things like that. So our opponent now is going to use Marnie, and that's going to shuffle everything. Anyways, we could have used Giovanni to empty out our bench from Dedenne is weak against fighting and also Crobat, so they can easily just knock out one of them and then they can win the game. Good thing they used Marnie. I was so scared that they were gonna use Boss Order and just win the game, but with that we can actually just we have a Boss's Order, so we can easily just win this game. Hopefully. Hopefully, unless they have anything else in their hand, if they have like a stamp, but they're just gonna give it to us, I guess. Okay, and they're just gonna concede. Yeah, I'll take that. We won against the Coalossal VMAX, so good game. Alright, cool. We won the coin flip, and let's go first. Let's see. I think Snom can go straight into the active because we can retreat easily with it. And Galarian Darmanitan V, you can go in the bench. Oh, okay. So we're up against the Weezing, but it's a grass type. If I had to guess, it has something to do with a lot of bench damage too. So this is gonna be okay, Orbeetle VMAX deck with Weezing. So this is gonna be a battle of bench damage, I guess, or spread damage. I think I'll just put this Wash Energy on one of the Darmanitan. What we could do is evolve into Frosmoth, and then we can start energizing. We can use the Capacious Bucket to energize our Darmanitan right away. Then we can use Professor's Research even. So let's just do that. Get 2 water energy, and hold on. Let's energize Ice Dance these 3 energy on this Darmanitan, so that way it can now attack. And maybe we could get 2 more. No, let's just get 1. I just want to put it on the active, and hopefully we get a switch here or something. Can use Pokemon Communication to get a VMAX, but first let's I'm putting Phione on the bench. I don't want to Dedenne because I don't want to throw away the water, so I think I'm just gonna Pokecom Snorlax and get ourselves a Piplup and Blastoise, and I'm gonna energize Blastoise actually, so it'll be ready to attack. What we could do is Phione and use the Dedenne on our next turn. That'll free up a space on our bench. But yeah, so let's see who's better. Blastoise and Piplup is weak against grass, so that one is definitely gonna get knocked out if we put it in the active. Unless we can put that weakness guard on our tag team, then we should be fine. But what I'm thinking here is really to take advantage of Galarian Darmanitan so that we can start spreading damage to our opponent. At 320, at 310, I'm sorry, Orbeetle V can get knocked out. So Darmanitan VMAX does 200 damage, but we gotta get that telescopic sight. So this Weezing is fairly dangerous. I think I'm just gonna Whirlpool Suction here, so we can use our Dedenne. I'll put this weakness guard. We can retreat if there's no switch. Yep. So that's what we could do. We can get our Galarian Darmanitan VMAX, evolve, and we can evolve Frosmoth here. I think I'm just gonna retreat with it, and I'm gonna Boss's Order so that we can hit for 200 damage. It won't be able to attack anyways, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me Ice Dance this one energy on this Darmanitan, And I'm just gonna hit for 230 to our opponent's bench. So now, yeah, you know what? We had a good start. Their spread damage is pretty good, but I think Galarian Darmanitan VMAX definitely is hitting for a lot more damage than our opponents. So I think with this matchup, we have the upper hand for sure. I have seen builds with Darmanitan with the Sandslash GX. Unfortunately, I don't have one, and it's fairly expensive in the trades. So I should have gotten one when it was still a little cheaper way back when, but I decided not to get it. I've seen and played against those Darmanitans, and those things can wreck. You know, those things can wreck the bench if they don't have a Mew or something like that. Can hit for hundreds of damage and then take the whole prize card basically and win the game. So with Boss's Order, we knock out that Orbeetle VMAX, and that'll get us 3 prize cards. And we just one more hit, a few more hits, then we should have this game. Yeah, not not too bad. Our opponent was also using a telescopic sight, which makes it a lot stronger against our Vs and GX. So, but for this turn, we can probably use our scoop up net to get rid of one of the Frosmoth, and then we can negate bench damage using Mew. They're just bringing those Pokemon back, and they're just gonna continue attacking with this Weezing. This one is actually doing a lot more damage than the Orbeetle VMAX for sure, and it only gives up 1 prize card. I think if they don't have, if they didn't have the Orbeetle VMAX, they could have done better or well with just the Weezing. So we'll KO that, and they just give up. Yeah, just a few more turns, we could have just knocked out everybody in their bench. So, all right, well, good game. All right, next up, CECG is calling the coin flip. Alright, we lose, and they're gonna let us go first. Okay, that's cool. Okay, Snom goes into the active. Alright, we got a few options here. We can use Marnie or Professor's Research. Most likely Marnie, probably, if we can. You can use Pokecom to get a basic Pokemon right away. Got Snorlax. Let's see. Can just put Darmanitan right away and put this energy. I mean, we can use Marnie or Professor's Research in our next turn anyways. Hopefully we get Frosmoth, we can switch out and then start attacking. So we are up against a dark box. That's how you refer to it. You got a Spiritomb here. It only requires 1 energy, and then depending on how much damage counter it has, the higher its attack. Alright, so again, with the hammer, so many hammers. Hammers are Darmanitan's weakness. And there goes our energy. You know, all we need basically is just 2 energies on our Darmanitan, and we can even knock out the Spiritomb, to tell you honestly. But that hammer did us in with that 1 energy lost. We could have just used our Capacious Bucket and start knocking out our opponent's Pokemon. Okay, Yveltal, and they have Zigzagoon. I wonder if this is Eternatus deck. They did have the coin after all. They're gonna Marnie. Okay. Get Giovanni. This, you know, I think I probably just removed Giovanni, to be honest with you. I haven't been able to use that. I do play it, but not as often, because it does remove liability. Unfortunately, Snom is very weak and just got knocked out with 40 damage. You can play this tag team, get rid of Giovanni, use Quick Ball, probably use Crobat here. Can preserve this 1 energy on our hand. We get a reset stamp. There's this Frosmoth, but now Snom is gone. I don't know what else to do here. I don't know how else we can energize. We can start energizing our energy one by one, but other than that, man, I think we really have a bad hand, and our opponent got us with that hammer and also that knockout with the Spiritomb. So okay, so there's an Eternatus VMAX. You know, if this goes really well, I really think Darmanitan can win against this. There's another hammer. Ugh, they get heads again. So they really are slowing us down. I'm scared we're just gonna lose this game, because it's so frustrating that we're not getting any energy on our Darmanitan. So I'm just gonna be persistent here. Gonna attach this 1 energy on it. We just need to attach 1 more. We should still be able to survive 1 more attack or so. And we can knock out the Spiritomb at least. But yeah, those hammers, man, I'm telling you. If your opponent's using hammer against you, it's so annoying. But if you're the one using the hammer and then you keep succeeding, you know, you're so happy. Especially on tournaments, man. Okay, so we do survive that 1 attack. Spiritomb can be very, very deadly. I think I'm just gonna use Quick Ball. Probably get rid of 1 energy, and I'm gonna go for another Snom. Hopefully we get this one so we can energize as quickly as we can. Put 1 energy and just freezing headbutt this Spiritomb to knock it out, because it's very obnoxious. Alright, we get 1 price card for it. We do get a Quick Ball. We can search for another Darmanitan and start working with that. But I could use Dedenne-GX. That way we can get more cards in our hand that we actually need. They're gonna bosses order our Crobat V. Alright, we don't need to use Quick Ball. I'm just gonna evolve into Frosmoth. Ice Dance. Just put it on the tag team. Play another Darmanitan on our bench, and I'll probably throw away this reset stamp because we don't really need it right now. I'm just gonna go for Dedenne. I think I can use this incense before we use the Dedenne, but you know what? I'll just discard it, and I will not evolve into Darmanitan because it can get KO'd if they do get a VMAX. If our opponent gets a Eternatus VMAX, it can easily just knock out Galarian Darmanitan with a lot of damage. So I'm not gonna give them an extra prize card by evolving it. So I'm just gonna use Sonia. Sonia is really good. I could probably use another Sonia. I am only using 1 in this deck, but yeah, it can get you energies or basic Pokemon. So it's really nice addition to this deck. So I'm just gonna put 2 energies on 1 energy on Blastoise and 1 on the new Darmanitan. That way, at least we have a preliminary energy on them, and all we have to do is just attach one more or something like that so that we can start attacking. But anyways, I'm just gonna put another water energy on Blastoise and Piplup and use the Evo Incense to get a Galarian Darmanitan VMAX to thin out our deck. So in our next turn, for sure I'm gonna evolve the other Darmanitan with no damage counters on it. Alright, so there's the boss's order, and they choose that Darmanitan. So they're gonna get a free price card off of this one if they do evolve into Eternatus VMAX, because I don't think its attacks can do 50. They will have to evolve it into a VMAX to be able to knock out our Darmanitan. And then they're just gonna get 2 price cards for it. So that's why I don't like evolving it. So if they do get a Eternatus VMAX here, they can expand their bench and start playing other Pokemon. So with that Great Ball, they do get another Eternatus V, but it's not a VMAX, so they might not have anything actually. Alright, they got the drill, they take off our weakness guard, and they don't have anything. Good. And our Darmanitan V survives. I still won't evolve it, but I will evolve the one on the bottom for sure, or on the bench. We can use Professor's Research. Okay, we got more water. But we don't have anything to switch out the Galarian V in the active. So what I think I'm gonna do is just put this telescopic site here. I could put the wash energy on the active so we can retreat with it, and then Ice Dance the rest to this Darmanitan VMAX. And I'm just gonna hopefully heads. Yes! That paralysis can give us another turn. Hopefully they don't have any retreat, or they don't have a Eternatus VMAX to revive it. And there's the stupid hammer. Tails. Dang it. Okay. Well, we still need 2 more energies onto our Galarian Darmanitan VMAX. But at least our opponents still can't find their Eternatus VMAX. But they do knock out our Galarian Darmanitan V. So I think it's time that Blastoise and Piplup gets into the active. And we're just gonna Marnie here. We do get 2 more energies, which is really good for our Darmanitan. So we can even start attacking with Darmanitan, knocking out the Eternatus in the active. I think we can do that. That way they can't expand their bench by evolving into Eternatus VMAX. So I'm just gonna max white out here for the KO, and that's gonna get us 2 price cards. We get a telescopic sight and a switch. Alright, they put Yveltal into the active. So we can easily knock out these small fries in our opponent's cards. The only contender basically we have is Eternatus V. If it turns to VMAX, then it's gonna start hitting for 270 damage. But we do have our Blastoise and Piplup all set to go. We can paralyze if we need to. We do have a switch, and we have Galarian Darmanitan VMAX in the active, doing tons of damage in our opponent's bench. Okay, so they don't have any room right now to play other Pokemon. And then they just turn it over to us. What I could do is even use Phione to free up my bench, and then we can use the Dedenne so we can get more cards. But I think I'm just gonna max white out here. There's really no point in doing any of the other stuff because Phione could come in handy, and these Crobats basically just need one more hit from our splash damage and we can win the game. We don't even need the boss's order. And even if they switch out into this Eternatus VMAX, unless they can fill their whole bench, it's gonna go for... Oh, okay. So if they fill out their bench, it's gonna hit for 270, and that will knock out our Blastoise and Piplup, and they could win the game. So they have one Pokemon there, and the Crobat. Who knew they had the Crobat as the last card on their hand? Now they have two energies. All they have to do is basically find one more Pokemon to hit for 270. But if they don't have that last Pokemon, oh my gosh, they have Pokecom. Of course they'll find the last Pokemon. Well, but you know what? If we took out a lot of their basic already, let's see. Dude, they don't have the basic. All right, so they're not gonna hit for 270 here. I have a feeling Blastoise should be able to survive. Let's see. 270 minus 30. So it's only gonna hit for 240 damage actually. If they don't find another Pokemon here. They remove Telescopic Sight, but that's fine. We have another one. And sure enough, they don't have it. That was a close one. We survived by 20. So now what we could do is just switch Darmanitan into the active, Telescopic Sight, max whiteout, dealing 60 damage to the Crobat, winning us the game with the last two prizes. So good game.
Darmanitan VMAX is a really awesome damage spreader, especially with the help of the Telescopic Sight. But with strong metal decks still doing pretty well in the meta, Darmanitan VMAX just can't compete that well because of its weakness to metal, but also its awkward or expensive attack cost. However, it is still a very fun card to play. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay safe and have a great day.